Well, he's a Super Bowl champion, a former Pro Bowl linebacker, and now in his fifth season calling games for Fox. You know him, you love him. Jonathon Vilma. Jonathon, how things going early in the season for you?
Things are going great. Season's been exciting. We've had some close matchups, some good matchups, so I'm enjoying it as always.
And you're on the call this weekend for the Panthers and Bears matchup up in Chicago. Obviously, these two franchises seemingly going to be linked for the next few years, just given the trade that was made last spring before the draft. Just your take on things and how things have transpired for both teams since that trade was made. Obviously, seeing how things have shaken out.
It's still a little early to tell, Gabe, but you look at what the Panthers are trying to build, and you can tell they're trying to put the pieces together, and they're quick to make a decision, right? You usually want to have your number one quarterback, number one pick, have them kind of go through the growing pains, and instead they felt like it's better for the team to have a veteran in there, kind of show not only the quarterback but show the rest of the team what it is and what they can be, right? And so I look at a guy like Bryce Young, who's going to watch and learn from Andy Dalton, and then when he steps back in, he's going to be that much better. So I like the idea from the Panthers where you don't have to necessarily sacrifice a season, but you can still have these growing pains and let the team learn. And then when you switch over to Chicago, right now it's a 2-2 team, and they're right there in the thick of it with the rest of the NFC. And you still have a rookie quarterback who's learning, so it's always good to learn while you're winning. If you're not, I would imagine that they may take the Panthers approach on how they continue the rest of the season. So it's been very interesting to see how both teams have approached this season, addressing not just their quarterbacks but addressing the team, and I think it's been doing well for both of them.
And when you look at this matchup on paper, what is maybe the most intriguing thing? Because obviously, you have the Bears coming in 2-2, the Panthers, while they are 1-3, they've looked a lot more competitive the last 2 weeks with Andy Dalton under center. What are some of the main things that intrigue you going into this matchup on Sunday?
I'm very impressed with both the running backs or running back duos for both teams. And I think DeAndre Swift is a special player when he's healthy. He can always hit the home run, whether in the run game or in the passing game. Does a really good job. And then I flip over to Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders. These two are very good and very capable backs. So I like the game in the trenches. I'm looking at the offensive lines, defensive lines, how they're going to hold up, because these running backs, if they have a little bit of space, they are very, very dynamic, very explosive. And that's what you want. When you have a rookie quarterback, you want to have that run game to lean on. You want to have that running back as an outlet. And then when you're Andy Dalton, it's always good to throw behind a good running game, right? And not have to leave it on Andy Dalton's arm. So that's going to be the matchup. It's going to be an exciting matchup for both sides. Excited to see how they're going to perform.
Staying on the topic of Andy, a guy that's 36 years old and has played for a lot of teams since leaving Cincy. What's impressed you the most is he's just a guy that's really stayed ready and now making the most of getting really a second opportunity to be a starter.
It's really exciting and refreshing to see an old quarterback, or I should say, he's only 36, not that old, but an older
Yeah.
quarterback, right? For the NFL, it's exciting to see them progress, because there's an easy way of saying, well, I'm just a wily old vet. I'm going to do things the way I've always done them, and this is what worked for me in the past. Andy Dalton hasn't taken that approach. I like the way that he's worked within the system. The system is designed to get the ball out quickly, to hit the spots, to hit your target. And then when there's a time to go over the top and hold the ball a little bit longer, you do that. And so Andy Dalton has frankly shown the way that the offense should be run, right? And it's really refreshing, because you see an offense that has the talent. You have an offensive line that's gotten better. I mentioned the running backs. The wide receivers are young, but very, very talented. So you get these I call them little wins, right? When you have these 8-yard completions, 7-yard completions, 12-yard completions, those are all wins. And then all of a sudden you go over the top for a deep ball. That gives confidence to the offense. It gives confidence to the players. It gives confidence in the scheme. And that's what I really liked about watching Andy Dalton so far.
And lastly, before we get you out of here, when you look at just the Panthers and just them being able to turn things around, you got a brand new head coach in Dave Canales, a younger guy who brings a lot of energy. When you look at possibly a timetable for a turnaround for this team to get back to maybe what they were in 2015, how long do you anticipate that possibly taking here in Carolina?
Oh, good question, Gabe. It's hard to put a time frame on it. What I would say is every week me, the fans, Panthers fans should be able to see growth, should be able to see progress. So it doesn't always translate into wins and losses. And frankly, there have been young coaches, rookie coaches that started off with a lot of success, but there were a lot of things wrong and they were not progressing. But it was masked by the wins. And you want to be able to see the progress, you want to see the growth, and that's going to be the biggest thing. So whether the wins translate this year or maybe the next year or the year after, they'll come as long as there's progress. And the best example I can give is Dan Campbell with the Detroit Lions. You don't know how many times I called those games, they were losing,
Yeah.
and there was progress. And Dan kept telling us, I'm telling you, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. And then sure enough, they make this great run 2 years ago, don't make the playoffs. But again, everyone can see like, uh-oh, this team is for real. They've done some really good things offensively and defensively. And then sure enough, make it to the NFC Championship last year. Now they're on the roll this year. So, that's the way I would look at it. Just take a look at the progress and then the wins will come.
We'll see if the Panthers can have that same path. Jonathon Vilma, thanks for your time. Enjoy the Windy City this weekend, man.
Thanks, Gabe. Nice talking with you.